can be sold for a high price. Maros showed Helmut the seed of darkness he found in their corpses. Based on what they know, the seed will dominate a human's mind when it's inside and turn them into demonic beasts. They haven't seen someone like that because of the rule. Those people are sent to the Forest of Roots anyway. That's how people on the outside think. Darien said that as long as one has the seed of darkness, they'll definitely die fighting humans. Helmut wondered whether he would become a demonic beast and fight humans. The reason why Darien taught him how to use this was so that he could suppress the seed of darkness within him. He should hide the seed or he will get in trouble. When Finn and Helmut were collecting the corpses, they were shocked to see that one of the beasts turned out to be alive still. As soon as he sees the still-moving demonic beast, Helmut draws his sword and slashes it dead. He felt different from when he was training. It felt like he had become unclogged somewhere, so he wondered whether his vis had returned. The other guys are praising Helmut for his fast reflex, but Tanya was stunned. She felt like she saw something emerging from Helmut's hand at that time. Helmut meditates at night. He's sure now that his vis has finally returned. The blade he swung instinctively had brought out vis. Helmut is called back because the mercenaries are deciding the night watch order. They will stand guard in groups of 2 with 3 shifts. Helmut and Tanya, Finn and Maros, Scene and Burn, in that order. Yute was injured, so he will be excused. After their shift, Tanya told Helmut to wake up the next group so that they could rest. Helmut can detect the demonic beast that fled in the morning. The demonic beasts are waiting until everyone is asleep, so Helmut decided to look out for them by himself, just in case. He will take this time to recover his vis as well. The bully from Tariq, Caleb, sees Helmut walking alone. He took the chance and decided to follow him. Helmut could sense it from behind him when the bully called him out. Caleb confronted him because he felt belittled because Helmut had been ignoring him since the request began. He's going to take the opportunity to take revenge since no one is going to come and save Helmut again. Helmut told Caleb to live like a human and not a demonic beast. He even called him out by his name. Rank 4, Mercenary of Tariq Mercenary Corps. It made Caleb angry. He broke his own hand trying to beat Helmut, but Helmut managed to grab and twist the bully's hand. The bully was shocked by Helmut's strength. Helmut told the guy to choose his opponent wisely if he wanted to establish a hierarchy. Caleb tried to attack Helmut, but Helmut accidentally used his sword to strike the bully's legs. Caleb was injured. If Helmut leaves him there, his identity will be found out. He has an epiphany and decides to murder the man. The seed of darkness inside him made him feel like he'd become a demonic beast. He assured himself that he was just Helmut. Caleb had gone running away, still in shock that Helmut was actually that strong. Unfortunately, he met the demonic beast that ran away that morning. Helmut heard him screaming in fear from far away. Helmut faced the demonic beast confidently, as he's now strong enough to fight it. The beast backed off as if sensing that Helmut was a strong opponent. Helmut told the demonic monster to take Caleb away and get lost, and so it did. Helmut is sure that it will be back again, and now he needs to think of how to explain the situation first. Everyone concludes that Caleb is now dead. His comrades are in mourning, and the captain apologized to Helmut on behalf of the Tariq Mercenary Corps, as he was being bullied by Caleb. Tanya doesn't accept the apology easily. She blamed them for not supervising their members properly. Caleb's brother was appalled because he felt like Tanya had insulted both Caleb and their whole corps. They were about to fight some more when they were stopped. The Tariq Mercenary Corps is at fault, but the Pace Mercenary Corps should watch their words. As compensation, Caleb's request fee to Helmut. There are already 3 people dead, so they have to think about how to deal with the demonic beasts. Helmut was scolded by Tanya for wandering alone. She's planning to not let Helmut travel alone again. Helmut felt weird being scolded by Tanya. It reminded him of Darien. They were both cold and warm at the same time. Helmut promised to be careful from now on. The next day, they continued their journey. They have to get out of that forest as soon as possible to avoid other demonic beasts in their way. Unfortunately, they encounter the same kind of demonic beasts as the day before. There's still many, and Helmut can feel their energy well, although some of them are far away from him. They're sending demonic beasts to the core little by little. The mercenaries were all exhausted, and some of them suffered minor injuries, including Maros and Scene. Fian thought that Finn and Helmut were doing better than he expected. Helmut can look after Finn since he knows how to use a sword, and Finn is at least good at dodging. Strangely, the demonic beasts are targeting only the Pace mercenary corps. The other corps has lost 3 people, and they wouldn't likely help them due to their fight yesterday. Fian hopes everyone can make it out alive. The Tariq mercenary corps member talked to Paul about how the demonic beasts only attack other corps. The leader of the beasts must be planning something. The member suggested that they should help out, but Paul doesn't agree. He wanted to use this opportunity to aim for efficiency, not just safety. What Paul of the Tariq mercenary corps means by efficiency is simple. While the Pace mercenary corps distracts the demonic beasts, the rest quickly escape from the forest. According to Paul, they're in charge of the important items anyway. Sir Miles was angry, and he questioned the Tariq mercenary corps' morality. Paul managed to convince them that the most important thing was their survival. He offered an alternative so that Miles wouldn't have to compensate everyone for all the goods and lives lost in the worst-case scenario. The Pace mercenary corps members and horses have been exhausted for a while now. They also have no idea how far they still have to go. The Tariq mercenary corps doesn't help out. Suddenly, they even speed up, leaving the Pace mercenary corps behind. Fian realized that their corpses were used as bait so that the Tariq members could escape. As soon as they have fewer forces, the demonic beasts come and surround the Pace mercenary corps. Helmut wondered how many of them could survive in that situation. Fian told everyone to stand by and get ready for the attacks. If Helmut acts now, people will find out who he is and where he came from. But it no longer matters for Helmut. Everyone is in danger. Just this once, Helmut will try trusting humans. Helmut told everyone that what he's going to do now is a secret. He used this to attack the demonic monsters one by one simultaneously, all by himself, leaving everyone speechless. Everyone thinks it was a miracle that Helmut managed to kill so many demonic beasts. The leader ran away when it saw its subordinates die. Finn asked what is wrong with Helmut, but Helmut simply said that his body has healed. Tanya is now certain that she did not see it incorrectly at the time. Helmut asked whether everyone was all right, but they were still too stunned to speak. Fian wonders how Helmut is able to manifest this at such a young age when even he, a rank 2, can't do it. He asked Helmut where he had learned swordsmanship. Helmut still can't trust the human to tell the whole truth, so he only said that he remembers living with a master in a forest. The Pace mercenary corps needs to get out of that forest first. Fian asked Helmut what he would do later. Helmut promised to stay until they got out of the forest, but he doesn't know what happens after that. He also hasn't gotten his share of money yet. The corps decided to chase after the ones who went ahead first. The members' bodies felt light after resting, and their injuries are healed. Tanya keeps tracking down the Tariq mercenary corps. It looks like they ran all night. According to the original plan, they should take a break at the first village after the forest, so they'll probably meet there. Some members are still angry, and they plan to take revenge in that village. They also wonder what will happen to the request now that they only got one food carriage instead of the important stuff. Helmut suddenly heard some noises. He told everyone that he senses demonic energy gathering. It could be the Tariq mercenary corps having a battle. Helmut predicted that it's about an hour away from where they're at, and the leader of the demonic beasts is also there. Fian was amazed by Helmut's ability. Helmut said that it will take less time if they hurry, and Tariq should be able to hold on until they get there. Some members are still vengeful about what happened, but Fian reminded them that they're mercenaries, so they have to finish the request. They need to take care of it first before dealing with the Tariq mercenaries corps. They're different from the Tariq anyway, so they will secure the client and the goods. The Tariq mercenaries corps was having a hard time defending itself against the demonic beasts. Paul couldn't believe that the beasts would chase after them so persistently, thinking that they already had the Pace mercenaries corps. Paul was planning to run away with Max, leaving everyone else behind. Everyone will die at the hands of the beast leader, so their reputation will be safe. When Paul and Max told them to disperse and then ran away, everyone was taken aback. Sir Miles was also left stunned. He realized that he had trusted the wrong people. He was about to be killed by the demonic beast, but Helmut came to rescue him from the beast. Helmut arrives at the location of the Tariq mercenary corps just in time to save Sir Miles from being killed. He managed to save the client. He was told that he should go ahead of the other Pace members. Fian had a bad feeling because Tariq had already betrayed them once. If Helmut had been there any later, all the merchants would have been killed. Now that he has his vengeance, Helmut can face the demonic beast leader without worry. He used his sword and vis to fight it. It was the strongest demonic beast he had met outside the forest. Helmut doesn't let his guard down as he fights. Suddenly, the demonic energy of his opponent got even stronger, as if it were absorbing all the demonic energy around it. The Pace Mercenary Corps will be there soon. If they try and run in to help, they may end up in danger, so Helmut plans to end it as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, the demonic beast leader was resilient. It won't work with Helmut's usual fighting strength, so he adds more power to it. The leader has become even faster, and its claws have grown new ones. It will be bothersome if Helmut doesn't kill it in one slash. Helmut's clothes were ripped as he fought the demonic beast, so he thinks he should buy some new ones in town. In the end, the demonic beast leader even consumed the other demonic beasts. Helmut suddenly sees the pattern of the beast's attack. It is the same attack pattern as Naho. Even if it absorbs all the demonic energy there is, it will still be weaker than Naho. Helmut then bravely attacks the leader until it's finally dead. The Pace Mercenary Corps rushed towards Helmut, and they were surprised to see that he had defeated all of the demonic creatures himself. All of the Tariq Mercenary Corps members who were present have died. Fian concluded that their captain had abandoned them and fled on his own. Tanya said that they're bastards who didn't have loyalty or a sense of responsibility in the first place. They found that Sir Miles, their client, had survived. Sir Miles is finally awake, thinking it was the afterlife. As soon as he sees Fian, he apologizes for abandoning their whole corps. He admitted that he was threatened by Paul. He was stunned to realize that he wasn't dead yet. Fian didn't explain the whole thing because Helmut asked to keep it secret. Since the Pace Mercenary Corps saved his life, they demanded 80 of the profit. They managed to continue the request after all, despite his betrayal. Sir Miles bargained to decrease it by 10, but Fian said that it's his problem to compensate those who die. If he doesn't want that, Sir Miles can go all by himself from there. In the end, he agreed. Fian asked about the truth of the goods they're guarding. According to Sir Miles, it will be the end of the Bhutan Merchant Association if the news gets out. The Pace Mercenary Corps might get wrapped up in danger as well if they know the truth, but Fian insisted on knowing. The client they're heading to meet right now is a mage known as Antiol, the Archmage. The goods are things that can't go through inspection or surveillance. The origin of the goods that they're transporting is a place that mages aren't permitted to visit, the Temple of Lumen. The temple's power exceeds one's imagination. The group that defeated the Demon King 1,000 years ago is still going strong. They were a group that protected the world from demonic energy at the time, but they're far from what they used to be now. They're gathering wealth and power in the name of protection. Most of the kingdoms are under control as the price for borrowing divine power, but they're unable to control magicians. Sir Miles is sure that they're looking out for the chance to get their hands on them. If the temple finds out the Bhutan Merchant Association delivered an item from the temple to a mage, it would be destroyed due to the conflict. Itol once saved the leader of their association before, so they can't refuse the request. Helmut was curious about Itol. A few years ago, the divine barrier was almost destroyed. It detected the mana from mages, so the temple ended up restricting the mages. They sought freedom by almost destroying the barrier, but the temple covered up the incident. Helmut now understands why he was sent to the Forest of Roots. The temple was unable to remove the seed of darkness within him, using the divine power. He wonders if magic would be able to do so. Helmut hoped that this mage would be different from the black mage he saw in the Forest of Roots. They finally get out of the demonic beast's territory. They decided to camp, since it was hard to go any further due to the setting sun. Fian asked to talk with Helmut for a moment. He gave Helmut something expensive to eat, one that swordsmen eat when their vigor or stamina is depleted. Helmut's body is getting warm, suggesting that it was effective. Fian thanked Helmut for protecting the Pace Mercenary Corps. He swears in the name of the Pace Mercenary Corps that they will help him out whenever he needs it. Helmut gladly accepted the gratitude since they're now trustworthy comrades. The Pace Mercenary Corps and Miles finally arrived at the location according to the map. Instead of a village, it was only a road. Miles explained that they're going to carry the items to Antial's abode themselves. Miles took a pendant-like item from his pocket to show the core what he meant. Magic emerged from the pendant, and they're starting to leap through space. Fian has only heard rumors about an Archmage's abilities. It wasn't an illusion, since they could feel the temperature dropping too much. They were welcomed by an old man as guests from the Bhutan Merchant Association. The man said that he's satisfied with their job, since some of the items should be hard to acquire. He also noticed that there are traces of human life force leaving from different parts of the carriage, meaning that several people died. Sir Miles explained their situation and said that only a third of the members made it there. Sir Miles offered to sell the demonic beasts' corpses to the old man. He agreed to add them to the request fee and total it at 150,000 marks. The Pace mercenary corps was surprised by the price, but archmages are wealthy beings after all. Helmut keeps on observing the old man and knows that he is strong, that his power feels different than Erugo's, and that he's concealing his mana completely. The old man noticed Helmut and instantly found it interesting. Mages, especially those who can see the truth hidden deep within, can see into the truth from time to time. Helmut told him not to say anything more than that. The old man respected his desire to keep the secret, so he created a barrier around the two of them so that no one could hear them. The old man swore by the mage's name, Antial. He's using a mage's oath, a promise made by mages that, if broken, can cause them to lose a large amount of mana. The old man knew instantly that it would be related to the seed of darkness inside Helmut. Helmut wanted to know how to get rid of it, but the old man said that it was impossible. The seed that possesses the power of a demon rarely indwells babies who were supposed to die in their mother's wombs. They are brought to life by the seed of darkness itself and must live forever as its host until death. Hence, the seed of darkness is no different from his heart. Helmut thought an archmage would know a way, but he's not God after all. This is his first time seeing a human who has control over the seed of darkness. The seed of darkness normally demands demonic energy from its host. The more they resist demonic energy, the more their mind is devoured, and the more they will habitually conduct evil acts. They will ultimately go insane because their minds cannot handle it, or they will become engulfed by the demonic energy they absorb and turn into a being similar to a demonic beast. But Helmut's case is very unique. According to the old man, theoretically, Helmut can suppress the seed using a different power, but that power can only be either mana or vis. Both powers require immense talent and time poured into them. But a seed that does not receive demonic energy attacks the mind much faster than that. To think Helmut trained in vis while taking in just enough energy for the seed not to go berserk, all the while not being discovered by the temple, is interesting. Helmut doesn't know whether to be relieved or not, since the old man doesn't expect him to have come out of the forest of roots. Even the priests of Lumen would find it hard to detect the traces of the seed, and the Archmage himself simply managed to see the seed because it reacted to the thick demonic energy present there. Helmut should avoid areas with demonic energy as much as possible. The old man said that Helmut currently doesn't have a bright future, but he will be stronger with time and will likely become a powerful individual if he can avoid the temple's attention until then. However, everyone who possessed the seed of darkness would likely become either criminals or demonic beasts. His sword will eventually destroy this world, and his hands will obliterate countless lives. That's the general fate of those who possess the seed of darkness. Helmut said that it would not happen because he's a human. The old man was interested in watching him prove his words. If Helmut isn't able to overcome it, he has to be stopped. But if he can reach a higher level than the old man, he might be able to control the darkness itself. Fian gave 3/4 of the reward to Helmut as his share. He also gave him the bag containing the things Helmut brought out of the Forest of Roots. He thought he had lost it, but Fian found it while he was going through the luggage. Helmut thanked him, but Fian showed him his gratitude instead for being a benefactor of the Corps. Finn was excited to show Helmut their mercenary corps headquarters after finally finishing the request, but Helmut has decided to leave. Tanya told him that he could still use the mercenary certificate. It had only been upgraded to rank 3 because it was only temporary. The corps members were sad that Helmut had to go, but they wished him well. Tanya told him to take care of himself, They thank each other, and Helmut managed to compliment Finn's meals. Fian promised that whenever Helmut needs help, he can come to the core. Helmut felt aches in his heart when he left his comrades, like when Darien left Elijah's side. However, if Helmut keeps doing mercenary work, he will have to pace the demonic beast, and it might cause him to lose against the Seed of Darkness. The only way to make sure he's not turning into a bad person or demonic beast is to get stronger, to the point that even the Seed of Darkness can't control him. Paul and Max were in disguise after they abandoned their members. They were drinking at a restaurant while hiding their faces. They're thinking that they shouldn't have accepted the dangerous request. They only felt unfortunate about Caleb. The others are not special. They can still rebuild Tariq, unlike the Pace Mercenary Corps, which they thought was dead as a whole. But then they were shocked to see the members of that corps passing by. The fact that the Pace Mercenary Corps is still alive means that Paul and Max can't cover the incident and their betrayal. They need to stay low for a while. It will only be a matter of time until their actions are reported to the guild. Paul has a plan, saying that they might as well steal because starving to death is the only alternative. Helmut was sitting in a pub, perplexed. He has to find a clue for the necklace he brought out of the Forest of Roots. He's going from village to village. Helmut has money from both Fian and Darien. Helmut discovers a letter from Darien, in addition to the money in the bag. In the letter, Darien said that if Helmut is reading this letter, then that means my life has come to an end, or it can also mean you succeeded in getting out of the Forest of Roots. Helmut is probably having trouble adjusting to the outside world right now, since the way he has lived until now is different from the way people live on the outside. Of course, Darien knew that it wasn't Helmut's fault, so he doesn't need to feel bad about it. Darien's time must really be coming to an end, since he was worrying about Helmut. Darien then gets straight to the point. If Helmut's roaming around without a clear goal right now, try going to Baden. There is a place called Greta Academy that children his age attend. Darien wanted him to learn more about being a human, which was lacking from his teachings. That is a place where commoners and nobles alike attend equally. No one will try to find out where he's from, nor will they care. He can't enroll on his own, so he needs to go find a man named Ethan Kudrow. He'll know he's Darien's disciple if he shows the sword Darien gave him. He made an oath, so he'll help Helmut. According to Darien, the human world may be a more dangerous and terrifying place than Helmut can imagine. It's not a place where strength can solve all his problems. But since he managed to overcome all his harsh training, he will trust that Helmut will somehow overcome this trial as well. Take care of yourself, Darien concluded. Helmut noticed that the letters are shaky, which means that Darien barely had enough strength to write. Helmut feels thankful now, but he knows where to go. Helmut's food arrived and cost only 15 marks. He paid for it with a 1,000-mark coin. He plans to sleep there as well and depart tomorrow. He received 90,000 marks from the request, so it was worth more than he expected. Suddenly, a drunk man who had been there for a while approached Helmut, knowing he had a lot of money. He was with other men, trying to steal money from Helmut. They asked for 20,000 marks, but Helmut refused to give them any. The man was angry and about to punch Helmut, but he easily grasped the man's fist and fought back. The bad men asked who Helmut is since he's very strong, and Helmut only said that he's a merchant. Helmut told them to go away, and they left after threatening him to watch his back. The seller told Helmut to get out of town immediately. The ones he fought were Black Hawk and the thugs that dominate the underworld. They had declared war, and they would kill just about anyone with their capabilities. It's a hassle for Helmut, but he will call them somewhere else so that they don't destroy the place. He will wait for them in the forest out back. The thieves know the forest well, so they thought Helmut was making mistakes by running that way. They want to show that the Black Hawk at night is more terrifying than anything in this world. Helmut learned that there are many humans in this world who act like demonic beasts, and there are also humans who protect each other while risking their lives. He doesn't know how to solve a problem like what he faces right now with anything other than strength. But for Helmut, humans that act like demonic beasts need to be treated as demonic beasts. According to Helmut, Black Hawk is more boring than he expected. He realized after killing them that they were even weaker than Tanya. He still needs to fight more humans in order to know the standard of human strength. When the seed within him began to hurt, he decided to return to the inn and rest. Helmut wondered if it was because he just murdered humans instead of demonic beasts. He realized that killing the thieves was a bad move since he could get caught in his current condition of growing darkness. He needs to avoid his opponents as much as possible if he can't even kill them. Helmut also needs to go to Baden fast. Sir Anton was receiving news about the Black Hawk members who had died. The one who brought the news said that they will be able to know the exact location if they keep pursuing. Sir Anton expected a rank 2 mercenary to come, but he didn't know that it was Paul and Max who came. Sir Anton welcomed them to join at a time when it was hard to find skilled people. However, there's a condition for them to join. They are different from normal mercenary corps since they do a lot of illegal things, so the members can't disturb a job just because of some kind of justice or moral sense. They need to prove more than just skills. Sir Anton explained that 5 of their subordinates went missing last night, and they found their corpses in a forest. They were killed by a single stab while fighting a single merchant. Sir Anton described Helmut's characteristics, and so the two just need to kill him. They are promised a better quality of life in the Black Hawk Mercenary Corps. According to the report, the culprit was in the village's inn. He can't get too far since not much time has passed since the incident. Helmut goes to the Mercenary Guild to make a request because he wants to move without drawing attention. The lady at the front desk was fascinated by Helmut's rank since he was so young. Helmut asked for a request that he could do on the way to Baden. According to the lady, Baden is a metropolis. Tons of people want to go there, so it will be easy to get escort or transportation requests. The lady offered Helmut to escort a noble lady, and the reward is 800 marks, but there's a condition. The mercenary needs to be the lady's type. The lady from the Mercenary Guild said that image is important when dealing with a noble requester. Even if someone's famous or gives off a strong first impression, their attire needs to at least be decent. She also said that Helmut's face is enough, so he only needs to buy some nice clothes, and the lady will prepare the request for him. Helmut entered any clothing store he managed to find. The owner offered him top-grade fabric clothes made by the most famous artisan in Baden for 2,000 marks, and Helmut took it even if it was more expensive than the reward. The lady from the Mercenary Guild was satisfied with Helmut's new attire. She had sent his information to the client, and since Helmut has the reputation of being a Pace Mercenary Corps member, he has a fairly considerable chance of passing. A man from House of Zachringen came to check the mercenary, who accepted the request. He looked at Helmut's appearance and decided that he looked good enough. Someone was hiding while observing Helmut and the man coming out of the guild. The man introduced himself as Gilton, the butler of House Zachringen. He said that it's good that Helmut hasn't heard anything about Marquis Zachringen. He just needs to know that he is of high status, so he needs to be careful of his actions. Helmut told him that he had made a transportation request before. If things got difficult, he just needed to follow what the knights said, and they would grant him more money once the request was completed. Helmut arrived at the luxurious inn that the Marquess's daughter is currently staying in. One of the knights named Cendric found Helmut too young, but Gilton told him that his capability had been verified by the guild. The lady's currently having breakfast in the cafeteria, so they head there. Lady Xenia was informed about the newly hired Helmut, but she doesn't care. She has things to speak about with a silver-haired young boy named Lord Alea. The lady appeared to like the man, but Alea, who covered him up to his head, advised him to rest. Helmut sensed something strange about the boy. Helmut thinks that there's something different about Alea. He's Lady Xenia's guest, and apparently he's quite well known at the Greta Academy in Baden. The butler accidentally met him, and the lady recognized the guy. That's why he's there with them. Lady Xenia is going to take the entrance exams since she's still 14 years old. Helmut's original destination used to be the Greta Academy. Gilton told Helmut to get ready for departure and bring a horse from the stables. They have about 2 hours left. Once Helmut's done with the preparations, he can come to where the carriage is. Helmut was too old to see Cedric if he needed anything else. Helmut's horse is a handful and difficult to control. The word on the street is that Xenia is pregnant. Helmut realized when the guy passed by that he's a mage. On the journey, Helmut still thinks about the magic that Alea has. He's curious why he cast a spell on himself, so he wants to keep an eye on him. Inside the carriage, the lady asked a lot about Alea. He's the top student in his class in the magic faculty, so Xenia bet that the test would be easy for him. He told the lady that she would also do well if she prepared enough. Lady Xenia said that she needs someone to prepare her for the entrance exam. Aaliyah is willing to recommend a suitable teacher, but the lady wanted him to be her teacher instead. Helmut was trying to eavesdrop on their conversation from outside.